What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my review of the Latitude 64 Ballista. This is a big rim, wide rim distance driver from Latitude 64. It is a 14-speed disc. This is the disc we tested a little while ago now. It's been over a year, well over a year, if not a couple of years now. I can't exactly remember when we tested these and when I got this flight footage that you're going to see in this video. But it's definitely been a little bit. So my knowledge on them and my experience with them is a little rusty right at the moment. And also, I just never felt like we got the footage I really wanted. So I've kind of been sitting on these for a little while. But it's to the point now where I gotta move past some of these molds, guys. I have so many things to show you, so many different things to test, to review, other things I want to bring in to review as well. So we got to kind of move on. So we don't have quite as much footage today for this video, but we still have some shots. You'll still get an idea of how these fly for sure. And I still got 3 different throwers to show you, so that's good. These are dyed, custom dyed. They're just white Opto when they came in. They're misprints that I bought myself. So no sponsor to shout out on this video. I just want to say a quick shout out to the Disc Golf Nerd Patreon support team. They're awesome. For as little as $2 a month, you can join the team, have your name listed in the credits of all the videos, and help support me and the content that I make here on the channel. This was the first glue dye I ever did, and I'm still pretty happy with it. You can see how it's kind of fuzzed out a little bit over time, as all dyes will. Kind of soaks into the plastic, so you can see it more towards the back of the disc now. It kind of moves its way into the interior of the plastic. These are both 173, just white, misprint Opto plastic. So yeah, this was the first one I ever dyed with glue. This was the second one I did that I took you guys along for the ride, and we filmed it, and I showed you the whole process start to finish on this one. This one's still one of the cooler ones I've done. It still kind of looks like a, you know, nebula kind of space vibe to it. One of my most recent dyes, just for reference, is this guy right here. Came out pretty good on this EMAC. Wild swirls happening in that guy. But anyway, so we are going to take a look at these. We're going to compare them side by side with other discs, and let's start with let's maybe get rid of this guy for now. We'll just stick with one of them. It's usually a little bit easier. And let's start with a look at the rim profile on this guy. As we said, pretty wide rim driver, and the flight numbers on this disc are 14, 5, -1, and 3. If you can find them, the kind of ghost stamp from where I removed the stamp is still under there. There you can kind of see it, but take my word for it. 14, 5, -1, and 3. Now, it's kind of funny that Latitude and the whole kind of trilogy family has a million discs that are 13, 5, -1, 3, 13, 5, 0, 3, 14, 5, -1, 3, 13, 5, -1, 2. Like, there's so many that are right in that similar kind of vein, but this thing definitely does seem to be faster than a lot of the other options, and it does have that really wide rim feel to it. This pair is also quite flat, not a lot of dome to speak of on this particular pair, but the feel is great. You know, you guys know I have big hands, and the wide rim doesn't bother me at all. I like the feel of it for the most part. If you have smaller hands or you don't like the wide rim feel, you're probably not even really considering discs like the Ballista, because anything that's above 13 speed in particular is going to have a significant amount of width to it, and also, you know, it's also just a little bit sharper too. It's not always width that determines the speed of a disc. Let's compare it to a couple other things, as we like to do. First of all, a disc that is still in the testing queue that is extremely fast, as well, is the Luft Discs Boreum. So 167 Boreum, you can see it has no right angles or flat edges on the interior rim there. Super smooth. Really, really unique disc that Luft has put out on the market now. I will be doing a full review on these, but I already have some content made with them if you want to see them fly a little bit and get my thoughts on them. But they are very fast. Also a wide rim disc, and there they are next to one another. The Boreum also has some pop top to it, where once again these particular Ballistas, if I can actually show them to you, are pretty flat. Always a struggle maneuvering around my tripod, my mic, pop filters, and all kinds of other nonsense. Another recent dye is on this D2, 400G D2. I actually found this one, had no ink or anything, so I was going to gift it to a friend who throws Prodigy. Shout out to my buddy Anthony. Hopefully he doesn't see this, or else it'll be a little bit of a spoiler, but whatever. And there it is next to the D2, just because I have the ability. The D2 not as fast. I believe All the D series are considered 13 or 12 speed. I'm not 100% sure what the flight numbers are on that disc. And then my beloved Havoc. This is a new run Havoc, by the way, guys. I got a pair of these. New Opto plastic, feels great. Nice, like, sparkle Opto. There it is again, 13.5, -1.3. So basically the same flight numbers, -1 in speed. But I think the Havoc is definitely, it's noticeable. That difference in speed is noticeable. There's definitely a difference in terms of the way they fly. The Havoc is easier to throw for the average player, I would say, and not quite as stable as a Ballista with that little bit less speed, especially this kind of flat-topped pair that we tested here. So let's talk about the flight of this thing. You're going to see as you go from me to Andy, who throws farther than I do, and then to James, who throws farther than Andy, you'll see the disc start to behave a little bit differently. For me, it's more of a stand up a little bit, fly nice and straight. Andy is able to get it to stand up more than I can and get more distance out of it. But he also throws a little bit inherently higher than I do on most of his shots, so he's still getting some fade at the end of the flight due to that wide rim, high-speed nature of this disc. Then when you step it up to James, who puts more speed and more spin on his shots typically than either me or Andy, James is able to throw them straighter overall, going way farther than I was throwing them. So even though I have limited flight footage for this particular video, I still think you're going to get a good idea of how these discs fly and behave for different arm speeds. Now, just because it's a wide rim, high-speed disc does not mean it is not useful for lower arm speed players like myself, for people who throw even less far than I do. What's nice about a high-speed disc is that you can use that nature to bend around the corner a little bit farther than you can with like a Firebird or something when you have a low arm speed, because it still has the speed to punch down there and sweep around the corner rather than just drop out of the air. So nice for long hyzers and stuff, even if you can't really get them to fly very straight with your arm speed. Could be a nice disc for long hyzer shots to go up and over stuff. And for any player, it's a really effective disc for low lines that need distance. If you need to punch underneath a low ceiling and get a good flight out of the disc still and get some distance without having to rely on the glide or throwing it high enough in the air for it to float down the fairway, a high-speed disc is really great for that for just about any player. Now, if you had a big arm, above James, closer to like Pro Tour level arm, this would probably get more into a big open field distance bomber disc, maybe a roller disc, that sort of thing. But for guys in the James arm level, like pro arm speed, this thing is an absolute flip up laser if you know how to control it, and it will go really far as well. So overall, a functional disc, still a solid option from the Trilogy brands, from Latitude. I think it's kind of gotten eclipsed a little bit by the Ballista Pro in terms of popularity. Now we have discs like the Rive, which I will be testing relatively soon as well, and other things that come onto the market always, things kind of shift around. But I think the Ballista is still a really solid option for a high-speed distance driver for just about any player. Don't sleep on it. Take a look, check one out, maybe you might like it. That is my review on the Opto Ballista. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your continued support. We are on the road to 15,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for future uploads. We are creeping up on 14,000, and hopefully we can hit 15 this calendar year. That would be super rad. Lots more content to come here. We have a ton of stuff in the testing queue that I will be working on as soon as this weather finally kind of breaks and the rain kind of goes away. Out here in the Pacific Northwest, I think I'll be able to start knocking out some reviews really quick and continue doing what we're doing. Almost 300 disc reviews. We're not slowing down. We're into the final 15. I think we have only 13 left to go after that I'll post this. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all very soon. Cheers.